Follow the money. That's what I always say. You always follow the money. Yeah.
This is Follow the Money with Mitch Moss and Pauly Howard on VSiN.
Here we go. Welcome in. It is Follow the Money on VSiN, the Sports Betting Network. Mitch Moss along with Pauly Howard. We're live downtown Vegas. Circa Resort Casino is your spot. A very entertaining 3-hour program lined up today. Guests on the show, professional gambler Blair Rodman. His new book, all about sports betting, is in studio in 90 minutes. As he said on a recent podcast with our buddy Anthony Curtis, hasn't had a, quote, job since 1985. Pretty good at this whole racket. Brett McMurphy later on, college football. We'll get into that world today. Obviously, week 0 is upon us. And a lot of reaction from the National Football League, Pauly, which I don't really know where to begin based on the news yesterday. But the Deshaun Watson stuff popped earlier today. And how this kind of flipped. I mean, if you go back only a couple of days ago, before their second preseason game, Watson was about 86% to be named the Week 1 starter for the Browns. He was available at minus 620 national sports books or prediction markets around those numbers. That dropped to minus 140 or 58%. It dropped almost 30%. And then today, here you go, Browns. Yep, we're going to go with him. Yep. Anyway, doesn't matter what's going on. I know that you want us to fire him. The fans do. The media does. He basically said, no, he's our guy.
They're going down with the ship. Everyone's laughing at him today. They should have let go of him years ago. They just feel they're pot committed because of the worst trade in NFL history, which is saying something. I'm from Minnesota. And it's the worst contract in NFL history. When he's played in the 19 games, his QBR is 33. Worst in the league. And then he comes out and he says it. I mean, he's telling you what's going to happen. It's going to be like 17 road games when I'm out there. They're booing you because you've been pathetic.
That's exactly
right.
They're
booing you because you've ruined the franchise. Why'd you even draft Sanders? That's the other thing.
Why they draft Gabriel?
That's another one, too. So he can't, and this has just been the craziest preseason I can remember where nothing makes sense. This guy, a veteran who's had success in the league, can't move the ball against third-string guys and fourth-string guys and even get a first down.
Right.
And then he made it worse with the post-game presser afterwards, and then apologized, though, afterwards. So 42 different quarterbacks since 1999. Tony Rizzo's on the show tomorrow. He's going to say, well, it's a 2-game audition. Well, what are we doing then? Because the first 2 games are on the road. So then if he stinks, they'll go back to Sanders to open up against Carolina.
But what was it, the preseason supposed to be an audition as well?
Yeah, no kidding. They blew this. Absolutely, they can't get out from under this contract and feel like you said, though, last week, the worst thing that can happen is if he actually plays well, because then he's a free agent.
Well, that's not going to happen.
Then what? Well, I doubt it as well. But then what are you going to do? So you might as well play either one of the 2 guys you drafted, or else you're just looking at a quarterback in the first round anyways.
Well, and here's the problem, by the way. I actually think the Browns roster, beyond the quarterback position, which is obviously the most important position in the entire league and the sport, they're pretty good. I mean, their defense is going to be rock solid yet again this year. We've talked about this on recent shows here on VSiN. I actually think the weapons on offense, not bad. Overall, I think this team, if you put them up like 53 players compared to other 53 players, for example, like the Jets, definitely the Dolphins, I think they are clearly better. But the quarterback position is so bad that's going to be maybe the one reason why they're going to be in the mix for most losses the entire year, fewest wins. Yeah. Depends on how you want to look at that market.
Yeah. It's 10 new offensive starters. It's going to be tough. And that could be a survivor play week 1 with Jacksonville.
If they, honestly, if they had an average quarterback, like if they had Kyler Murray, or if they had somebody in that same tier as Kyler Murray, Browns might be, they would be tricky this year.
Well, we saw it a couple of years ago. That's why they're pissed at Watson. Flacco was like us, watching games on the couch. And then they sign him, and he goes to the playoffs. And they win 11 games. And he gets comeback player of the year. That's why they're livid, because it looked like a completely different team in offense when he got hurt. Now, they shouldn't boo him when he got hurt and tore his Achilles.
No, of course not.
But still, it's just that they're booing the performance, and they're booing the frustration at 230 guaranteed, 3 number ones, a 2, a 3, and a 4th-round pick, and they had to guarantee the contract to beat out Atlanta.
Sure. But how delusional, though, for him to think the fans are booing for something else.
Yeah.
The off-the-field stuff. No, pal,
totally,
because if here,
well, good point.
I got news for you, Deshaun. If you were actually looking good and a guy that could live up to all that money, in that city with their quarterback problems now going on countless years in a row, they would be cheering you like God. But you've been so... By the way, you talked about this on Friday. We had Lisa Ann in studio talking fantasy football, and you said you can't remember other than Mike Tyson, a person doing a 180 with their career like her. Give me the guy that's the comp to Deshaun Watson. Arguably like an MVP-type quarterback before all the shenanigans and the injury happened.
Yeah.
To look this bad on the football field after he was that good?
Yeah, that's the other angle. Like, he never owned it, and the 24+ women had accused him of assault and the 11-game suspension. So through all this, he's only played 19 games.
Yeah, nothing's his fault.
That's right.
Ever.
Everyone's out to get him.
Yep. How about this quote from Monken? It's a long one, but bear with me. Here you go. The business we are in is a performance-based business. It is what it is. When we expect a service, you're going to be disappointed when we don't get that service. If you go to a restaurant and your soup comes out cold, you're going to be pissed. That's the way it is. If you order from the grocery store and they deliver and 6 of your eggs are broken, you're going to be pissed. I get it. That's what we're in. That's why we're paid what we are, to perform at a high level. And when we don't, that's the repercussions of it. We've run to this smoke. This is the job we've chosen. End of quote.
Yeah, that's a good line.
It's a phenomenal quote from the
comes with the territory.
New head coach of the Browns.
He had a doozy of a press conference. He had to get into that. He had to get into why Lane Kiffin was calling him. His backup tight end left after he dressed, and now he's going to play at LSU. I mean, he had quite the weekend.
I know it says, it's been talked about over and over and over again the last 48 hours, whatever. What are we doing here? What are we doing with this being a possibility? Where you can come in, be on a team, get money, and he's not the only guy. And then, forget about it. I'm going to go. They're going to cut me. I'm going to go back to college.
It's a new transfer portal.
Come on.
Yeah, right.
I know it's not going to last forever.
Yeah.
But do we not have anybody in charge of this thing with a brain?
Uh-huh.
This is actually going to be allowed? How dumb. So, yeah, I don't know. You have Browns under.
Oh, I think they're right there with Miami and Arizona. I think they're that bad. And it's just, no matter who they put in a quarterback, it's going to be a struggle. And I don't like to hire a head coach, and then you'll have this guy hanging around the organization all year, too. So,
yeah.
I mean, it's just, they're not the only team. But it's a big indictment when you can't move the ball against 3rd and 4th string guys and you're competing for jobs.
Oh, you talking
That's
about
alarming. I've never seen it before. I've lived it for 25 years. Following preseason, you can't move the ball against guys who aren't going to be in the league, and you've been in this league for 10+ years, and it doesn't make any sense.
Well, who else are you talking about? I can go back to last night's game.
The Titans had issues.
You
J.J. McCarthy and Carson Wentz couldn't move the ball.
McCarthy's going to be out of the league.
There's so many guys where at least you've won games or you've been in this league for a while, and you can't even get a first down. And meanwhile, guys like Bouchel or Fagnano, the guy from UConn's moving the ball with the Ravens, how Simpson looks right off the bat. It just, how you can't. Anthony Richardson, another one. What do you have, 30 yards passing?
Yeah.
You're trying to beat out Riley Leonard for the backup spot? I mean, you can't even put up points on the board against 4-string guys. It's nuts.
By the way, there is a soccer match going on right now in the Prim. So Chelsea just scored again. Meatman gave them out. He also gave out a guy on this club to lead the EPL top goal scorer. He scored fastest goal ever. Was that Luke? Was that the tweet? 31 seconds in for a day one game or a match. 31 seconds in, and the guy that he gave out scored. Now they lead 3-1 in the 50th minute. So Cam Ward, overall, here are the numbers. Titan starters in, dominated by the Seattle backups. 17 snaps, 13 dropbacks, 8 of 12, 69 yards, 5.8 per attempt. Offensive line did him no favors. He was pressured 31% of the time when he dropped back. Also, dude, you're carrying the ball like this still. You're number 2.
Yeah.
How did you not cut that out in the offseason? Can't happen.
I know.
So that's the easiest forced fumble a defender could ever have in his entire life. And you sounded the alarms last Monday big time on him. And there was a lot of love for the Titans early on in the offseason. I'm starting to come over to your side now, Pauly.
Well, the good news is Watson is now the favorite to be first quarterback benched, which you have an opportunity to bet that now, too. So Tua is the second choice. And now Penix is finally back at practice. I don't know if that's enough time, though, with 11-on-11 drills. Gino's the third choice. So we're going to have a race, and he's even money. So just like, what's the point? If it's going to be a 2-week audition, to see if he can outdo something with the offense. And then if he struggles, then you put Sanders in there for the first home game, week 3. It's ridiculous.
Yep, they're going to have to win games pretty much like the last couple of years.
Yep.
They got to win them. They got to play in the slop, hopefully. Hopefully they have like bad weather at home sooner than later, and they can win games like 13-10. They have to have Junkins break off a long run defense with a pick six, whatever it is, and just allow absolutely nothing to the opposing offense. Because this guy is completely cooked, evidently.
Yeah.
And my level of faith in Sanders to be better than him that doesn't exist. What a draft they had.
Yep.
What a stinking draft.
Yep.
The same exact weekend they
can't find that quarterback.
God.
They thought they had it with Mayfield. How about then they let Mayfield go, and then he turns out to be good and wins games?
Of course.
Although he did win a playoff game for you. But taking him number 1 overall. They just can't get this right since 1990. Since Bernie Kosar, they can't get it right.
No.
And those are a plethora of first-round picks, too.
Sure. How many different front offices?
Brutal.
How many different head coaches?
Oh, they're losing their minds there.
Just over and over and over again.
Good timing, though, if you're Jed York, that they dropped this today, though. Good timing with him. I don't know what's in the water there in Ohio. What's people losing their minds?
Billionaire owner
Crazy.
busted in a trailer park in Ohio, $140.
I asked our guy from Youngstown, Stewart. He goes, it's East Palestine's in the middle of nowhere. What, he pull up in a limo? $140? You're a billionaire? Wife shut the water off on him? I can't believe it.
Up next, we'll dive into the Ashton Genty news. It was total panic mode yesterday, and I can take you through all of the important numbers. We're moving in real time next here on VSiN.
This is Follow the Money on VSiN.
So I just happened to be online yesterday when the breaking news came down at the exact moment, like in real time. And that is the news, that tweet that came out and the information on Ashton Genty, which, how many times have we heard about a team getting down on their knees and praying for a teammate, and it turns out to be not that bad of news? This might be the first time ever.
Like the opening kickoff in the Patriot-Eagle game, when the guy wasn't moving after the opening kickoff, and they brought out the ambulance and everything.
Right. So that's the news that came out, and my initial reaction was, okay, that sounds horrific. He could easily be out for the entire year. We were told that we were not going to have an update on the severity of the injury until like either late last night or tomorrow. So what I did is my first reaction was not to bet unders on Ashton Genty, but it was to look at Mike Washington numbers overall, the backup who had that great run for a touchdown in the Week 1 game taken from Arkansas. So I looked around, and numbers were just, flying like this. I happened to find 100-1 and 120-1 for Rookie of the Year. I took those. At the same time, he was already cut down to 15-1 or like 18-1 at most spots. I also could not find like season-long numbers on him. But now today, Kelce is back to 2%. FanDuel earlier this morning was at 40-1, and basically all the Genty stuff was taken off the board. But it only seems like now it might be a couple of weeks with a sprain, and that might be it.
Yeah, no kidding. It sounded like catastrophic, and then it's much ado about nothing. Just a sprained ankle.
That was my first takeaway.
Yeah.
And then I will point this out. Scott Barrett, great job in fantasy. He compared Mike Washington versus all day 1 and 2 running backs over the last 12 years. 3 different stat categories. Yards after contact per attempt, missed tackles forced per touch, and yards per carry. In the yards after contact per attempt, 12th percentile. Missed tackles forced per touch, dead last. Yards per carry, career schedule adjusted, dead last. And then versus all drafted running backs last 12 years, 19th percentile, 6th percentile, and 9th percentile. Those are really, really bad numbers. But maybe the kid's gotten better. He looked awesome, obviously, on that one preseason run. But if Genty now is going to be compromised, or he maybe tweaks something with that ankle when he comes back, I don't know. Maybe this guy has to become the focal point of the running game. And as a pass catcher, and maybe
Yeah.
Maybe worst case scenario for Washington, he's like going to be splitting some time with Genty.
I don't get it. It was like the Carson Beck stuff, too. We're betting offensive rookie of the year, and this kid got it. Just like lousy team, and how many is he going to play? And if he plays, what are his numbers going to be? And here it's, can they fix the offensive line, and how long do you wait till you put Mendoza in? But it's like Rich Gannon said on the first preseason game. None of this means anything if you can't block anybody up front. So it starts there.
Sure.
And why he got unfairly criticized last year, I mean, he was getting hit behind the line of scrimmage every time he got the ball. Kid didn't have a chance. So they have to fix that. But it appears to be, it's definitely a work in progress and not going to be another last place team. But I hope he can at least look the part. And the offense looks the part this year after they have a lot of guys first-round picks there because, Bowers is a stud.
So a couple of takeaways. I don't hate having 100 and 120 to 1. I'll just call it 110 to 1.
Yeah.
I don't hate that. However, the lesson again here is, my God almighty, things. I mean, it was happening. It happened within seconds of the news coming out. I mean, now with the NFL here, books are not going to be sleeping at the wheel. And I think I had a minute maybe to get down a couple of bets. That was it. So, and if I was not on my phone, I would have missed everything. And then, but would I hate it? Who knows? But I'll give you an update here at Circa. In their Survivor contest, they have 11,800 entries now after another busy weekend. It'll go past 12,000 today. And remember, like 25,000 was thrown around on this show last week. People have said maybe 30,000 to get to, because you have to figure that they're going to start to average at some point here 1,000 entries per day with this. And then it just completely multiplies like that. 26 with Grandissimo. There's also this. Ravens coach Jesse Minter today, not that long ago, said it's looking like first-team center Danny Pinter. His injury is going to be season-ending. He suffered a knee injury last week in joint practices against the Vikings. Our buddy, friend of the show, friend of the network, Lou Finicaro, quote tweeted that and said, starting center, devastating. He's asking the question here, still like that over 11.5? And at the bottom, he put fade in all capital letters. They lost Linderbaum in free agency. I think that was day one to the Raiders now on the offensive line. And now starting center out as well.
I think there was other reasons not to like him, though, too. With a tough division, and it just seems everything goes wrong for him with the injuries. And it sucks that Harbaugh lost the locker room. Is that what they said? Mm-hmm. But getting off to that slow start, and it just didn't click. Lamar's got to stay healthy. It's a big year for Lamar. But in the other one is you have our people down on the Chargers now. Harbaugh says he's 100% confident in the backup center and that they'll be okay. They'll be okay there too. So maybe Lou's right. It's a high win total, but I just think there's other reasons where they're just running out of time and guys are up there in age and they miss their chance. Maybe a lot like the Bills or the Lions too, where you had your chance and you couldn't get it done. And hosting AFC championship games and going 14-2 and losing to the Titans and Lamar getting hurt, it seems, every year, that it just isn't meant to be.
Yep. How did you phrase it last week? Make or break, or now or never for these teams?
Yeah, now or never. A lot of quarterbacks fit that.
Think about this. So it does really feel like 2026 is that important. But Lamar, Josh Allen, Justin Herbert, Joe Burrow. I'll say, what if Mahomes doesn't look great this year coming back after the injury? What if we have another team come out of the AFC this year? Like New England a year ago. Because every year it was, okay, the Chiefs are going to win this thing just because that dude was too good, Reed was too good, and their personnel was off the charts. So, Josh Allen?
Josh Allen, yeah, I don't have Burrow on there because he's been to a Super Bowl. You have to have Jordan Love on there. I mean, the guy's only won one playoff game.
Yeah. Well, I was thinking
he has
more
to do a better job.
Okay, fair enough. I was thinking more about the AFC. And the reason why I'll say that about Joe Burrow is what if they don't get back? That could have been a Dan Marino type run.
Yeah. Well, at least he can blame the defense. And he's had some tough luck too. But I think there's a lot of guys that fit, if you want to talk about the AFC, that they have to do this. And in the Bills, it was right there for him last year because you didn't have Mahomes to worry about. And he still spit it up. Mm-hmm. But it would be tough to take if there's a Jacksonville or a New England part two, if that would happen. Because after all these years where you have that gaudy regular season record and home playoff games and you can't make it. There's a lot of guys on that list.
Yep.
A lot of pressure, absolutely.
I have not made this bet yet, but I'm gravitating towards the Houston Texans. Because what am I buying on them with? Maybe the best defense in the league. A kicker that is unbelievable. You bet him last week and talked about that. Most field goals for the year at 6-1 with Fairbairn. But also I'm buying just on the thought that C.J. Stroud might be okay. That's it.
That's all he has to be.
That's exactly right.
Don't turn the ball over. That's right.
And if they have a Ravens-type defense from all those years ago, or that good where it's just elite across the board, that's the team. Okay, I'll take my chances. 17-13, you can win, and you can tally up 12 of those in the regular season. Okay, then they might be good enough. Like, they could win the AFC based on a great defense, special teams, and Stroud being the 17th best quarterback in the league.
See, they still make the playoffs and win a playoff game, and everything goes wrong. They still are able to regroup. Collins gets hurt. Dell gets hurt. Offensive line is terrible. Stroud goes down. Mills comes in. They don't lose a game. It's been that way for several years now, where it just the injuries don't matter, and they somehow, through persevere and somehow make the playoffs and actually win a game.
That's another thing, too. So
they would have won 2 if it wasn't for Stroud last year.
Maybe would have won the whole thing.
Could have been, yes.
Who knows? I mean, the defense was that good. And I will also say this, like, they addressed the offensive line, obviously, and it was a disaster.
Yeah.
But what if that unit gets up to, I don't know, 20, whatever, fill in the blank. They improve. With David Montgomery, a full-time guy who I think is going to be clearly like their best running back they've had in several years. All I'm asking is for Stroud. I don't want, like, the rookie year would be, well, then they're going to win the whole thing. If he comes out and he's the rookie that we saw a couple years ago, just give me somewhere in the middle. Not asking for that greatness that we saw 3 years ago, but I certainly can't live with what we saw last year in the playoffs and basically most of the regular season.
Herbert's out of excuses, too.
I agree.
You help with the O-line, and you help with bringing in McDaniel. He's got to win a playoff game now. He has to. All right, football season's here, and you need your reps. The Sharps has a free weekly league. Lets you practice the same football plays you already study, prop sides, totals, combos. Everyone starts with 10,000 chips. Great website, easy to use. Build your stack, climb the leaderboard, put the plays in, join thesharps.com, scan the QR code on the screen, use code VSIN50 for a 50% deposit bonus up to $100. Join thesharps.com, code VSIN50. Get your reps in. Do it now and build your stack.
Week 0 is upon us in college football. We finally got some significant quarterback battle news, and I'll tell you how many entries the college contest has over at the Westgate coming up on Follow the Money. It's VSIN, the Sports Betting Network.
This is Follow the Money on VSIN.
Earlier today, reports came out. Tennessee, they named true freshman Faison Brandon the starting quarterback for the Vols. So he's going to debut against Furman. That's on September 5th, week 1. And then they travel to Georgia Tech the next week. Former top 10 overall recruit and a 5-star kid. He beat out veteran George McIntyre for the role. 35-1 as a record in high school as a quarterback. JVT in the College Football Betting Guide here at VSIN wrote about how he really liked the idea of Tennessee this year, several different ways. Brandon right now at FanDuel sitting at 70-1 to win the Heisman Trophy this year. But we finally learned today, and I think it's the right move as a guy who is a 5-star and a former top 10. Why not give it a shot? So he's the guy there. Updated numbers that we have for week 0. TCU, still around like 7.5 against North Carolina. I did grab a couple of games I gave out last week in pocket just based on I thought the moves were too much and I thought it was going to correct itself. I'm on Hawaii +6. Yeah, Stanford's now -5.5.
Open 3. Okay.
Yeah, bumped up like that. Adam Burke with a great breakdown on updating these numbers and info at vsin.com today as well. Think about this for a second. The Cardinal, they were favored once last year against San Jose State, and they failed to cover 3.5 when they won 30-29. They were favored once in 2024. It was against Cal Poly, and they were favored once in 2023. They lost outright to FCS Sacramento State. Now, Ashlock, Hawaii star receiver, got hurt in practice. So it's around, again, 5.5. I also grabbed Memphis +6.5 against UNLV. I didn't think there was a way that was going to go to 7. That's back down to 5.5.
Big game.
It is.
And Brad Powers on tomorrow thinks the Mountain West winner has a great chance to be a playoff team and get that playoff spot. A lot of love for New Mexico as well. And Rebels open 3 in that game. UNLV starts with Memphis, and then they play Hawaii. So a couple big games for UNLV out of the gate. I'm interested to see not only Saturday, but what North Dakota State looks like, and I bet the win total under jumping in now to the Mountain West, and that opened 10. It's down to 6.5 against Jacksonville State.
Yep. The football contest, the college variety over at the Westgate, they have 428 entries as of right now. And their other contest, super contest, is at 272.
That's it?
Yeah, that's it.
272?
Yeah.
We're less than a month out.
Yeah, I hope it gets closer to 1,000.
Oh, my God.
I don't know if it's going to or not, but I hope it does.
44 Survivor. How many last year? 90?
I thought it was one something.
Okay.
Slightly over 100.
Right. That's not a bad pace.
That Survivor is at, that's 5,000 an entry. I think that's going to touch 100 again.
All right.
And their gold, which has one winner, it's a $5,000 buy-in, is at 23. I think that'll hit 50, probably. But super contest, me saying right now, I hope it gets to 1,000. That's wishful thinking, maybe.
Yeah, I know.
That it might not get that high.
Things have changed.
Where do you think the college contest goes? Can that touch 1,000?
It should have, but the uncertainty what happened, and then with Caesars coming in, I think might hurt it.
Yeah.
I think maybe it'll go up next year because there's an appetite for that.
Right.
And you get bang for your buck too, because I believe it's 7 picks a week, is it?
It is, yeah.
It's good, yes.
And I certainly hope that it's enough where they're going to want to, and Caesars will want to continue it then in future years, because I think we need to have a college contest, and
no doubt. There's an appetite for it. I know.
For sure. And the idea of offering a $5,000 Survivor contest, I think, is really cool as well.
Mm-hmm. Here's the quote I was looking for from Harbaugh. Jake Slaughter takes over as starting center. Second-round picks played exclusively at center at Florida. Chargers have been using him at left guard during camp. The mind is sharp from snap, pre-snap, snap to whistle. He understands the position really good. 100% confidence, he said, in this guy taking over at center.
Okay.
Lou might be right about the Ravens, but I think there's other reasons, too, to be down on Baltimore with losing Likely and Andrews older, Henry older, Lamar older, and it just seems like sometimes it's not meant to be where you missed your chance, or you got to stay healthy, though, too, as well. And how they couldn't make the playoffs last year is beyond me. Everyone's ripping the Browns today, and rightfully so. You could have benched Watson for his bizarre post-game press conference on Saturday, blaming the fans. He admitted what's going to happen, and he's right. It's going to be 17 road games now as the starter. This is Kevin Clark, ESPN, reacting to the news Monken names Watson the starter.
Kevin, your reaction to this news that he's the starting quarterback?
Yeah, pathetic. I think pathetic is an all-encompassing phrase that I would use for all of this stuff. And Deshaun Watson's wrong about one thing. He's wrong about a lot of things, but he's wrong about one thing in this clip. It's not personal. It's business. It's performance-based. They boo him because he's an avatar for the worst trade in NFL history, the worst contract in NFL history, the fact that Cleveland fans have seen a lot of bad quarterback play, and even in that context, he's among the worst. He is among the worst. For a starting job, I would have gone Shedeur first, trade second, somebody like Todd Monken's former quarterback, Stetson Bennett, maybe somebody like that. Third would be Dylan Gabriel. Fourth would be Dan Orlovsky. Fifth would be Bernie Kosar. Sixth would be Deshaun Watson. Okay, maybe you got you and Bernie. You and Bernie could do a little quarterback competition. I'd rather have that than Deshaun Watson starting, just for the Cleveland fans. Cleveland fans, as you said, Dan, deserve better. I don't understand how you can face the fan base. And maybe this is a locker room thing. Maybe there were veterans on the team who said we need to start Deshaun and give us the best chance to win. Fine, whatever. But I don't know how you can face the fan base and say this is the quarterback you deserve.
Okay.
Yeah, a good point too. He shouldn't even be on the team. Like he shouldn't
be in the league.
Yeah, well, if he wants to mentor, as he was doing last year, mentor Sanders, you can maybe do that too and help him out from the bench. But he gives you the best chance to win? No way. And it's just like you said, there's just no reason. Why'd you draft Sanders and why'd you draft Gabriel? Because you're just stuck now. And it's so he's going to come out and stink against Jacksonville, and they lose by 20 points, and then week 3 we'll put Sanders back in.
Well, so under that scenario, Paul, it is possible where he comes out as a total abomination. They go to Shedeur Sanders, and he's worse.
That's possible.
That is possible.
Yeah, sure it is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Kyle Brandt, NFL Network, on X, Watson has spent the last 5 years either bad, pouting, injured, or suspended. Openly engages and antagonizes the fan base right after another poor showing.
Yeah. Less
than 48 hours later, you're our guy. He said, Browns fans, I don't know how you do it. Neither do I. I don't know how you didn't tap out years ago.
I wouldn't. I can't go to the games if he's playing.
There's no way.
There's just no hope. They're right. This might sound crazy, but they're right. I'd rather lose with Sanders than win and compete with Watson. That's how I feel about it.
Yeah, because you know what they're going to do.
They're just doing this because they're, as I said earlier, they're pot committed, like Kevin said. It's the worst trade in NFL history and the worst contract in NFL history.
And so you know what's going to happen then this year. It'll play out where they'll win like 5 or 6 games. They'll be picking outside of the top 2 or 3. They'll force a quarterback in the draft in the first round, and that whoever they take is going to turn out to just be an absolute bust. That's the way it goes in Cleveland, and I would expect nothing more.
Yeah.
Again this year.
The list is ridiculous. I know. You can't get it right. Tim Couch, Whedon, Manziel, Brady Quinn, Mayfield, Sanders. It's like you can't nail any of those picks. You can't get one of them.
I know. And on top of everything else, at least here you go. You have an identity of playing outdoors, and you welcome the crappy weather, living like, the quote, mistake by the lake. And now that new stadium that they debuted with the rendering last week, you're going to go inside and play? Are we just going to, what are we doing here?
I don't get why they were so quick to move on from Flacco when it was a miracle, right? He took you to the playoffs. You were lousy. And you got on the hot winning streak and you went to the playoffs and looked like a completely different team in offense. And they were so quick to move on from that.
How many wins do they have inside their division?
Yeah.
They're going to win 2 games inside the North?
They always beat Pittsburgh at home for some reason. But other than that, that's all I can get. I can't see another one.
Does the defense just step their game up so much to where they somehow limit the Bengals to like 17 points, beat them? And the same thing in a Browns game? Rugged rivalries here inside this division?
There were rough moments with Shedeur. There's no doubt about it.
Oh, it's going to be ugly.
Happen. He was also set up to fail, too, going in there. With the
Is there any chance, Pauly, that Dylan Gabriel's the best quarterback in their room?
I don't know about that either. It's a big start for him coming up Thursday. I would see if Gabriel can light it up and then Green. Maybe it's Green. I don't know. Stranger things have happened, right? Both of those guys are going to play. It's no Sanders and no Watson coming up Thursday. But you never know. I'll believe anything after you saw the Flacco stuff. They were starting DTR.
Yeah.
How bad was that guy?
Yeah.
And the guy off the couch comes in, he's throwing for 300 yards.
Like here to my point earlier in the first segment, if they had an average I kind of have to like the weapons, don't we?
Yeah.
Harold Fannon's awesome as a tight end.
Jarch loves Denzel Boston.
Sure. Other people like Concepcion.
Yeah.
Junkins, a lot to like there. Like they have, again, you put, I don't know, name the quarterback that's actually somewhat decent. Well, they might be pretty good.
How do you have a QBR of 33? Where's the guy in Houston? Was it all upstairs? Is he just shot mentally?
Oh, 100%.
And he panics? And
it's all upstairs.
He knows if I throw an incomplete pass, the boo boards are in 19 games, a QBR of 33. Last in the league, not even close.
Is this their way of going full tank mode? Ralph on X suggested that right now. I'll expand on that. I'll tell you what Ralph said.
I know it's going to be hard, though, because look who you're up against.
Win Some, Lose Some is coming up next. You won't believe what happened in Major League Baseball one night over the weekend. Pauly will detail it with all the amazing numbers next here on VSiN.
Win Some, Lose Some is sponsored by the Sharp Plays.
Were you a winner last night? Wow, winning. Or was it a rough one?
Well, they can't all be winners, can they?
Loser! You're a loser! Pauly Howard recaps the night in sports betting in Win Some, Lose Some.
Insanity Friday night in MLB. Favorites went 15-0. Home teams 14-1. A $100 parlay returned $23,500. Sometimes it's that easy. But to think you're not going to get a dog in baseball where all crazy stuff happens, I mean, I'll get to all the bad beats. You can't trust the bullpen as far as you can throw them. And what happened on Saturday, every favorite got there.
It's like Philip Seymour and Oni Mahoney.
Yeah.
One of the home teams in the American League and the road teams in the National League. Comes in.
Come on, I know. Yesterday, Javier, most strikeouts, 30-1. Saturday, Rosarina, 2 bombs, 75-1. Tatis yesterday, 48-1. NFL Packers plus 250 on a money line. Road team started 5-0 straight up in ATS. Bears Bengals under 39.5 down to 36. Chiefs have lost 7 in a row. Rams have covered 8 in a row preseason. Browns won 8-1 ATS, run at home. Hull City 5-1, shocked Man U. Newcastle Liverpool draw plus 280. League 2, a banger with Newport County and Bristol. 5-3 final. Something to keep an eye on. England Championship League. Week 1, 9 of the 12 went over. Week 2, 9 of the 12 went over again.
Wow.
Yeah, Saturday, WNBA favorites 3-0. And good job, Indy Jeff Seeley. Wyndham Clark, 33-1. It got hairy there. He was $4 to win going into Sunday. And the 6-shot league evaporated. But he hung on to win. And yeah, he was excellent to take down the BMW. Subscribe, be part of the team, vsin.com, our radio and podcast friends. You always want to see these tweets and videos at Pauly Does Vegas on Instagram. Send them in, we'll put you on. You want to go to a Bears game, hang out? How about the 2-pound bear claw pretzel, what they have? Bite into that sucker. Serving that now at Bears games.
I'm completely in because...
Oh, that's a great presentation.
You just said the word. I am a sucker for pretzels, man. Like warm pretzels and cheese. I almost have to try it no matter when they're available. Oh, does that look good?
Oh, 2 of them fill up the whole thing. Fill up the whole case, what they have, the pan.
Yeah, I love them.
That's awesome. Good job. I got to try one of those as well. Lose some Steelers. The late money on the Steelers. They got shut out. Different ball game, Aller, right? When you step up. Facing ones
Howard,
and twos.
your cousin at 2 INTs.
Oh, he was bad, I know. Steelers plus 1.5 to -2 shutout. Buccaneers minus 2.5 up to 5.5. 1 didn't cover. Bills under 39.5 to 36, fell 38. Bryce Miller, first pitcher since 1890 to lose consecutive starts by 17-plus runs. That could happen again? What are the odds of that?
Yeah. I have him American League Cy Young.
Oh, man.
Is that going to be a winner?
19-2 after the 22-0 debacle. This is called No Other Choice. I'm watching this on Instagram. I'm thinking, what are they doing? The guy smashes the back of the truck. I'm like, what? Is it hot dog in there? What's going on? No Other Choice because once he smashes the back,
they run like crazy.
Everyone runs. Like, what's going on, right? The big fella. A bear got into the truck and then locked himself in. They had no other choice. The guy picks up a rock and he had to break the back windshield so the bear could escape. And then they run like hell and the big fella gets out there. You're coming in. Oh,
how would you like to be the guy that lands on, okay, I'll take is it the piece of wood here?
Uh-huh.
I'll be that guy who smashes the windshield.
And then run like hell. Absolutely. Yeah, what are the odds is right. Incredible. What? No lead is safe. Whiskey and a revolver. I cannot believe. What's more astonishing? Every favorite wins or all this happened Saturday? Giants plus 180 led the Red Sox 2-0 in the 9th. Lost. Twins plus 120 led 5-2 in the 7th. Couldn't even cover the plus run and a half. 7-5 San Diego. Cubs led 4-2 in the 9th. Lost. Astros led 3-1 in the 8th. Lost. Rays led 2-0 in the 8th. Lost. Yesterday, Cardinals and under. 4-0 bottom of the 9th. 1 on, 2 out. And they lost the game, and the Phillies covered the run line. Schwarber hits a walk-off 2-bomber. 6-4 final. How can that happen?
I say this is more improbable.
Yeah, all in the same day, too?
Mm-hmm.
Newcastle, they led 2-1. Liverpool scored in the 99th minute.
Well, that was a big goal, though, for the Meat Man.
Put it over. I know. Good job. Meat Man's trying to have another winning week. Chelsea up 3-2, 4 minutes left. Sharp Plays been with us since day one. Jeff and the crew do a great job. Every play logged, every result public. Records back to 2011, live logs 2021. They get their records audited daily. No steam chasing, no stale trends, no recycled plays. Look for the daily Mr. Poison tweets. Follow the Sharp Money, sharpplays.com.
Okay, so depends on how you grade it. Underdogs, 25-7 ATS in the preseason. I will give you this. Teams that lost their first 2 preseason games, 11-5 ATS in week 3, covering by 6.7 points per game. The teams that fit the bill this year, Miami, Cleveland, Houston, Kansas City, Philadelphia, New Orleans, and Seattle. Maybe there's something about like, okay, it wasn't pretty the first 2 weeks. We didn't really care about those games, but why don't we enter the season on somewhat of a high note? And they bounce back here since they changed it to 3 games overall in the preseason at 11-5 ATS under that scenario.
I'm out. I cannot believe what I'm watching.
I don't blame you.
It doesn't make any sense. Look at how do you explain Atlanta?
That's the game I was going to go with.
Cooper Rush just signed off the street, and then he lights it up against Indy, and the Division II kid plays well. Meanwhile, Riley Leonard and Richardson can't get a first down, especially Richardson. It doesn't make any sense.
Don't make that make sense.
No.
Nope.
And there was another game too like that. I mean, look how bad Pittsburgh
the
looked,
Green Bay game?
Yeah. Denver had won and covered 8 in a row.
Right.
And they got their ass kicked.
Huge favorites at home.
I guess you knew something was up, I think, with the very first preseason game. I have Joe Burrow, Joe Flacco, Josh Johnson, who played well in the last week, against an undrafted rookie. Never played before out of Illinois. And they couldn't cover it, and they only scored 16 points.
Right.
It's just this stuff, I'm playing guys, I'm playing veterans. I'm supposed to kick your ass. And I'm supposed to go up and down the field. Not supposed to be the other way around, which is happening. It's completely backwards.
Email is ftm@vsin.com. This is from Peter on the Deshaun Watson situation. Maybe the Browns are starting him because the first 2 games are on the road. He'll probably get crushed. And then Sanders' first home game against the Panthers. He points out first 2 at Jacksonville, Tampa Bay. Sanders could look like the hero against Carolina. This is from the full tweet from Ralph on X. Deshaun Watson starting is a tank mode move. They want a high pick in next year's draft, so they make the worst quarterback they have to start.
They can't get the pick right anyway. So,
yeah,
and not to mention it's less than 50-50 now. I don't even know if McCarthy's going to make the team in Minnesota. So it's all a guessing game about who's going to be good, who's going to pan out, who's going to be out of the league out of these top 10, 15 players.
Sure, there will be a scenario where a handful of these guys who came out either picked high somewhere in the draft or with decent college reputations, at least, that are not going to be on rosters because these teams are not going to be keeping 3 or 4 quarterbacks, that's for sure, right? Like who's going to make the roster for the Steelers? Is there a chance that Howard and Aller don't make it and they go with Rodgers and Mason Rudolph and that's it? And then who is the odd man out? I think it's going to be J.J. McCarthy. And then what do the watch what the Browns will keep 4 quarterbacks. As dumb as that franchise is. And then do any of those players get picked up? Like if McCarthy gets cut after week 3, what's that look like on waivers? What does that look like for teams trying to actually obtain his services? They're probably non-existent, right?
Wentz and McCarthy combined, they scored 3 points. It doesn't make any sense.
Or
meanwhile, the kid out of UConn lit it up again, 15 of 20 for 120 yards.
Or will it be one of these situations where it happens all the time in the NFL? We think we can change that guy.
Yeah, there'll be some of that.
They'll take a shot on him.
Yes. But good luck. If Kevin O'Connell can't, you're going to fix him? No. I like that. You're going to continue?
I was going to say, what if I gave you, on the Brown situation, what if I gave you like in a head-to-head matchup scenario? Because you can bet this up at DK. What if I gave you plus money on the Browns to have a worse record against teams like Miami, Arizona, the Jets? Would you take it?
I could actually see it, yeah. I think they're in that group. At least Arizona's going to be able to score, right? Arizona has a pretty good offense.
Yeah.
I don't know. Not much hope in Miami. I do like the trade today, Booty going to the Texans.
I don't mind it.
It's another weapon for Stroud after what happened to Higgins. So he had a couple moments with New England.
Yeah.
They're set at that position. They went big with A.J. Brown and Dobbs. So I think that's a good move that they made today. That was my exact reaction. Pretty good. Yep.
Not bad. Gave up Jalen Reed, safety, and a 7th-round pick overall to get his services. I think your guy, though, might be on something there with Tank Dell.
Oh, gruesome. You mentioned the Genty thing. That people were crying on the field when he got hurt.
Up next, 5 bold predictions for the upcoming football season. Teams that will disappoint or surprise. And Pauly says this will happen for one of the few times since 2002. Next.